Happy Wednesday, guys. Someone just like went out. Oh, I hope that wasn't Kathy. Ah, there she is. She came back in. Okay, so let's find a comfortable seat. We have been talking about truth, right? Satya, truthfulness. What is real for you? Following the heart. And tying in with that would be the concept of Maya. So Maya is a Sanskrit word for illusions. And if you look at an Om symbol, I don't have one right in front of me, but there's like these three little, it almost looks like half circles, and then above it there's this little half moon and a little dot. So the little half moon is the veil of Maya, and the dot above it is Purusha, which is your true self. And the idea is that you have to pull that veil off, the Maya, the illusions. So what is Maya? Maya is the stories that we tell ourselves. So it all ties together. Right? We were talking about Swadhyaya, self-study, one of the niyamas. And the only way that we can realize that we've created this tale in our head is with self-study. And we believe those stories that we've created. Maybe they were placed there when we were very young, or maybe they were something that developed as we became a little bit older. And when we believe these stories, what happens is we hold on to them, and on an unconscious level, we attract things into our lives to support the stories that we believe. In 1999, I was changing jobs, and I was also changing, leaving a marriage, and it was my second. And I belonged to a meditation circle, and they wished me luck on the job interview, and I said, oh, I never have a problem in my professional life. I know I'm going to get the job. It's my personal life that's a mess. And the woman who ran the meditation center was also a psychologist, and she said, because that's what you believe, that's what you're going to bring into your life. And it wasn't until I took that step back and stopped blaming, the people in my life for the way things were going, and realized that there's a little part of me that created some of the trajectory, right? So Maya, the illusions, what do we tell ourselves? What do we believe? Ties right into what is true and what is real for you. Now, there's a difference between someone having their truth and you having your truth. That's not illusion. That's not Maya. The illusions are when you convince yourself that I can't, I'm not enough, or maybe this other person is enough when they're really not. So this all starts on the mat, and it all ties in together. Right? When we come to a pose, we tell ourselves stories. My biggest one in the beginning was that my arms were short. So my arms were short, so I couldn't touch my toes. And I really believed that. No, I had a tight back, I had tight hamstrings. As soon as I lengthened and worked that out, I was able to touch my toes. So it's a safe space to play, right? To play with some of those stories that we tell ourselves. And tonight, my invitation is to notice where these stories come up in our practice, because it's only in that compassionate self-study that we can begin to make changes, and we make them here on our mat where it's safe, and then we get the courage, right, to go out and make it in our world. So let's find a comfortable seat, and of course, with everything I offer, if it doesn't land, right, if it doesn't sound like your truth, let it go and pick a different intention for tonight. So let's take a few breaths here, dropping the chin to the chest. And start to soften, right? Allowing the face to soften, allowing the hips, the seat muscles. And with the exhalation, see if the rest of the body can follow, right? Scan from the top of the head all the way down, paying special attention to the corners of the eyes and the jaw, the shoulders. And then bring your attention to the breath as it moves through the body. And just watching the natural breath to begin with. Feeling the inhalation and the exhalation. And tonight I want to play with Ujjayi breath, the ocean sounding breath. Sometimes we call that Darth Vader breath. So it's a slight constriction at the back of the throat. Imagine you're fogging up a mirror but with the lips closed. And it creates almost like a snoring sound. So see if you can get that Ujjayi breath, and if not, no worries. Sometimes it's easier to get it on the exhalation and not the inhalation. And the reason we use this breath is, number one, it slows the breath down. And number two, it gives the mind a place to focus. So when we create that little audible breath, it's soothing for our nervous system. Right? So the breath affects our nervous system. And right now we are in this prolonged period of heightened stress. So taking a few deep breaths into the belly right now, and as you exhale, see if you can relax just a tiny bit more. The next inhalation, fill that belly and feel it in the ribs all the way up to the heart. Lengthen. The entire torso fills with prana. And as you exhale, release, let everything go, and let the day follow on that breath. We'll take a few breaths like that from the base, filling all the way up. Remember, we never struggle. It's more important to be relaxed here. And as we exhale, shoulders relax down. At the end of the exhalation, a little squeeze of the navel towards the spine. And notice as we follow the breath, right, can the thoughts and the mind stay with the breath, stay with the relaxation of the body with every exhalation? And if those thoughts do come, can we acknowledge, okay, there's a thought, and just send it on its way with the exhalation, right, without creating a story, without creating a dialogue around it. And then scanning the body, noticing your energy level. So it was 102 the last time I looked at the outside thermometer. That will affect our energy level. Right? Maybe you want to slow it down. Maybe we will slow it down tonight, right? Making this more gentle, more restorative. And then notice if there's any areas of pain. Maybe you're working with an injury. And remembering the very first yama, ahimsa, do no harm. It's free to release anything that I offer if it doesn't feel right for you. Bring the palms together at the heart, bow the head to the heart. And then take a breath, interlace the fingers, lifting the chin, letting the eyes open if they're still closed, and press the palms away. Chin to chest, little round of the spine. And as we inhale, sweep those arms up and take the spine in the other direction. Let's do a little seated cat and cow, pressing forward, chin in. As we inhale, we rise up. And do this 2 more times with the breath, nice and slow. Layering on that Ujjayi breath. Inhale, lift the arms up. And as we exhale, let's let those fingers gently float back down. We're going to release the legs out in front. And tonight I'm going to introduce a pose that we might have done once when we did the hot yoga sequence. It's called rabbit pose. And I'll give you two different options because one's on the knees and that doesn't work for everyone. So there's an option where you're seated. And rabbit is the counter pose to camel, which is a heart opener. So those are the two poses that will be different in tonight's flow, right? It's not something I normally offer in the practice. I just want to put that out there up front so there's no surprises, right? Let's bend the knees and take the feet nice and wide and take the hands behind you to support you and do a little windshield wipe of those knees from side to side, right? Noticing how the hips are feeling, how the knees are feeling. So I don't know about you, but my body gets really cranky when it gets hot like this. So I spent the first hour of my day doing a gentle practice, and then I followed that with another half-hour practice because it didn't seem like it was enough. We're going to take the knees over to the right side and take that right palm down and take the left arm and reach it all the way out to the left. And then start to trace the fingers in this big half circle. Let the left fingers find the mat, and as we inhale, we rise back up and open. And we're going to do this in a couple of different poses tonight. So when we come into our twist, you want to keep the spine lengthened. Always lengthen the spine, right? And you want to squeeze the navel towards the spine to protect the lower back. And then take that left hand and just bring it to the hip. Extend that left leg out, press into the right palm, and see if it would feel good to lift the hips up. As we inhale, sweep the left fingers up to the sky, coming into our half circle pose. And then see if it would feel good to drop the hips, let the fingertips come down to the mat, lift the hips and come back up. So if there's tenderness in that right wrist, you want to keep the hips planted down on the floor. Otherwise, play with this movement as we come up and down. And then at some point, circle the other way. Right, opening the shoulders. Let's take those left fingertips up to the sky. As we exhale, drop the hips. Let the left hand come down to the mat. Set up for that mermaid twist. Really high on the fingertips. Take a breath. Maybe we stay here. As we exhale, see if it would feel good to gently turn the body towards the right. Staying up nice and high, or walking the hands down, forearms, and letting the head drop. And just taking 2 or 3 breaths here. Gently gliding side to side, press into the palms or the hands. And this will create a little warmth, a little movement in the lower back. Let's walk the hands back towards each other. Come on up and take the knees over to the left. This time it's the left palm down, the right leg extends. We're going to take that right hand all the way out towards the right. Take a big breath, open the heart. And as we exhale, reach it across towards the left. And then take these big arcing circles. Like imagine we're painting rainbows, a different color coming out of every finger. And then taking that right hand and bringing it to the right hip, pressing into the left hand. So that wrist is under the shoulder to support. If you want to lift the hips up, if that would feel good, and then sweep that right arm up, coming into our half circle. Lengthen the crown of the head, right, away from those right toes. And then as we exhale, sweeping the fingers down, maybe dropping the hips. As we inhale, lifting back up. And remember, the hips can stay on the mat the entire time we do this. Right? What does the body need tonight? What would feel good? What would feel better? Right, let's sweep the other way. And then lifting those right fingers towards the sky. If the hips are up, as we exhale, hips come down, and then that right hand finds the mat. And we shift the weight side to side, lengthen up first, and then turn towards the left. Stay nice and lifted or come on down, forearms or block, and drop the head, a gentle glide from side to side. And then walk the hands back towards the body and bring the body back up. Taking the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. And let the knees come out to the side. And you can bring the palms to the thighs, or you can drop the elbows towards the knees, whichever feels better for your body, right? So if it's really tight in here, you may want to just rest the hands as we come down and up, or maybe you want a deeper stretch. So start by coming forward, right? Pressing the heart forward. We have this little tilt. And then take an exhalation and squeeze the knees, chin to chest, round the spine. Think cat and cow, right? Drop the knees and lift up. And as we exhale, round back. And just a few times like that, noticing the inner thighs, right? The hips, and this gentle rocking motion to maybe open them up a tiny bit. So we're never forcing. Then hold here. I come with that nice long spine, bring the heels a little bit closer, and then just let those knees be like little butterflies, right? Coming up and down, and see if that would feel good. And let's bring those knees back together, give them a little help. Keep that right leg in and extend the left leg out. I'm going to take the toes up towards the sky, press the heel away from you, and then hug that right leg really close so that we get this height. Right, pulling it into the chest and staying here or walking it over and crossing it over the left. Then from here, the right hand comes behind and we inhale and bring the left arm all the way up to the sky. Take the shoulders and bring them down, right? A lot of times we think if the shoulders are up by the ears, we're getting taller, right? We're not. We're just compressing the neck. So find the length in the torso and then turn towards the right. Maybe hug the knee with the elbow or the palm and moving into a twist. On an inhalation, look towards the front and all the way over the left shoulder. And as we exhale, turn the head and look behind you towards the right. And do this 2 more times. Inhaling, coming forward. Exhale, looking behind. And 1 more time. Just bringing a little movement into the neck. Let's come on back through center and release the right leg and pull that left knee in. Sit up nice and tall. A little hug, right? To find that length as you pull in and lengthen the spine. And then stay here or cross the leg over. This time it's the left hand that props us up like a kickstand. And we inhale the right fingers up to the sky. Find the length in the right side body without bringing the shoulders up towards the ears. And as we exhale, just gently turning the body to the left, maybe hooking the knee in the elbow or using the palm. As we inhale, we find the length, and as we exhale, squeeze the navel towards the spine, coming into the twist. And then coming back through center, bring the legs back out in front and give them a little shake. So I'm just going to turn to the side for this one. You guys stay exactly where you are. We're going to come to the tippy toes. Oh no, you guys know what this is, right? So strong core, healthy back, but please take care of yourself. Support the body by holding just below the knees, right? Come to the toes, and you want to make sure you have that same lift here. The heart is lifting forward, and just breathe. And maybe stay right here, shoulders down and back, looking up. If you want to challenge yourself a little bit, let the arms come out. Right? If you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, play with lifting one leg and then the other. And then maybe lifting both knees up, right? But if we fall back, we want to take one of those modifications of hugging in or keeping the toes on the ground. And then turn up the corners of the eyes, the corners of the lips, and smile, right? Your eyes smile too. And breathe here. And notice what happens when we come into the boat pose, right? Navasana, the boat. What are the stories that you're telling yourself here, right? And can we breathe through it? This is only a pose, right? It isn't good, it isn't bad. And in 2 more breaths, it's going to be over, right? 1 more deep breath in. And as we exhale, let the feet come back down, bring the body back up. And just for a moment, find this wrapping the arms around the shins, chin to chest, and roll yourself into a tiny little ball. And inhale to release back up. Okay. Let's come on to hands and knees. Tabletop. Spreading the fingers nice and wide. Pressing the palms into the mat. The knees are under the hips. The wrists are somewhat under the shoulders. And just take the hips from side to side. See if it would feel good to walk the hands up a little bit, right? Creating less of that 90 degree in the wrists. What would feel good for you right here? And then come through center, take a breath, drop the belly and lift the chin, let the tailbone turn up. As we exhale, press the floor away, pull the belly in, chin to chest around the spine. Cat and cow pose, just a few rounds here. Breathing through our flexion and extension. And when you drop the belly, you might want to tuck the toes, press into the toes, and as we exhale, rounding, flatten the feet and press the opposite way. Getting a little stretch at the base of the foot, or maybe that's not working for you tonight, so see what feels best. Let's come to a nice flat back here and just extend the right leg out. Take the toes down and press the heel away. Do this a couple of times, rocking forward and back. So if the wrists are cranky, there's always the option to come onto forearms here, right? You don't have to be on the wrists. And then find that alignment, right, where we're pressing the floor away. Maybe even bring the left hand to the belly and pull it in, feel that engagement. And then just lift the right leg up. Kick the heel away, point the toes, and see which feels better. And then see if you can sense where that right hip is and line it up with the left, right? There's a tendency for us to lift one hip a little bit higher. On an exhalation, bring the knee into the chest, and then inhale, kick that leg up and back, bend the knee, and look up. And then rounding, knee comes in, big breath in, bending the knee, dropping the belly, looking up. One more time like that. And then letting that right knee come down. Let's take the left foot back. Toes down first. Press the heel away and rock forward. So we're stretching out the calf muscle. And we're breathing. Let's come through center. Press into that right foot as we lift the left leg up. Same thing here. Think of length, right? And the hips are squared. The toes can be pointing down or pointing to the wall behind us. Engage the core. On an exhale, bring that knee in, round the spine. As we inhale, keep the knee bent. Take the toes up towards the sky. Drop the belly, look up. And 2 more times like that. Flowing. So it's a cat and cow spine with a tiger kick. 1 more time, that knee comes in, and then let the knees come nice and wide and start to send the hips back towards child's pose. Maybe your child's pose is all the way up here tonight, right? Or maybe you come all the way back. Extending the arms or making a little pillow, stacking one on top of the other. Let the forehead drop. And just take a couple of deep breaths here. Breathing in. And exhale, letting go. Let's rock back up to table. Tuck the toes and lift those hips to downward facing dog. And take a few moments here, bending one knee and straightening the opposite leg. Just taking this side to side, walking out the hips. And come high on the toes, rocking forward. Bend the knees and press the hips back. And then start to drop the heels. Let the head drop, finding downward facing dog. So this pose looks different for everyone. When I first started practicing, they would say it was a resting pose, and I would say, ha ha ha. Anything but to me, right? So notice, what are the stories, right? What are those stories when you come into down dog? Maybe you love it, maybe not so much. Can you just let it be a pose, nothing more? Breathing. And as we exhale, shift forward, bend the knees, untuck the toes one more time, back to child's pose. From here, come onto the belly. Extending the legs back, taking the elbows under the shoulders, spreading the fingers nice and wide for our Sphinx pose. So lift your hips, right, so they're off the mat, and kind of press the elbows down and pull the chest. And then let those hips release down to the mat. Right, you want to have this length in the spine. We're reaching the toes away from us, shoulders down and back. And the gaze is towards the floor, 3 feet in front of us. Notice the lower back. If you're feeling anything, any kind of crunchiness, lower down. It means you're up too high. Nothing in this practice ever hurts. Big breath in. And exhale, let it go. And take another really big breath here, pressing the hips down. And as we exhale, take the arms out to the side and tent the fingers like little spiders with the elbows pressing up. Coming into a variation of cobra pose. Now we're going to press the feet into the mat, right? The tops of the feet. And on an exhalation, see if you can peel the chest just a tiny bit off the mat. And remember, we're lengthening the spine. There's no crunching in that lower back. And as we exhale, bow the head towards the mat, coming down. And inhale, rising up. And one more time, bowing down. Create a pillow, one hand on top of the other, and drop the forehead to the back of the hands. Bend the knees, lift the feet, and windshield wipe those feet from side to side. Notice the sensation in the lower back when we do this. Let's come on back and release the feet. Bring the palms under the shoulders. Come back to tabletop. And we're going to move into that camel pose. So camel starts up on the knees, right, with the hands at the lower back, like we're sticking our hands in our back pockets. And it is our heart opener, right? But it's really important to support the body here. We're going to take the tailbone and press it down. So we want to get rid of that lower back curve, like we don't want to be like a little duck, right? Tuck it under. And then see if you can lift out of the side body, supporting the lower back. The fingers can point down or up, whichever is more comfortable. And then lift the heart. Start to send the hips forward. And the chin stays towards the chest. So you don't want to fling your head back, right? Too much pressure on the neck. And just breathe here. Right, at any time coming out, if this doesn't feel right, if you want to take this deeper, you can reach for the heels, tuck the toes, or maybe take those blocks and lift the heart. Ustrasana. Take 3 breaths here. Right, let the shoulders roll back. Let the heart lift on the inhalation. And with every exhalation, scanning the body, can you soften? right? Even though we're coming into this back bend, can you breathe and be okay? And then nice and slow, start to come out. We're going to drop the hips down. We're just going to take them out to one side and swing those legs out in front. So our counter pose is rabbit. I want to give you guys the seated version first. We're sitting. We're going to hug the knees into the chest. And we're going to bring the hands, they're coming through, so they're grabbing the opposite ankle from inside and pulling the knees in, coming into a little ball. And on an exhale, round the spine, just drop the forehead towards the knees as you tuck the chin. So we're coming in the opposite direction that we just did with the spine. Rabbit pose. So see if you can get that forehead close to the knees as you pull the body in, belly in, round the spine. As we inhale, rise back up. I want to show you guys the kneeling version, and then you guys decide if you want to try the kneeling version or do one more round of seated. So kneeling, it's the same thing. And if there's any issues with the knees, please stay with the seated version. We hold the heels, 4 fingers on the inside, thumb on the outside, tuck the chin, and we're going to drop down. Forehead stays in. So we're not coming to the forehead, we're coming to the top of the head. And then just rolling the hips up. And we roll the hips up and we hold on to those heels and keep rolling forward as we tuck the chin. So your choice of trying that one or doing the seated version again. If there's any issues with the knees, do that seated version again. If you want me to walk you through the kneeling version, 4 fingers on the inside, thumb on the outside, pull the belly in, tuck the chin, round forward, like when we were little and we had to do those horrible forward rolls in gym. And then begin to lift the hips, very little weight on the top of the head. We're using the heels, pulling the heels and rounding the spine. And gently coming out, right? 1 vertebra at a time, we come back up. Bring those feet out and give them a little shake. Okay, something new, something different, right? How are we doing time-wise? Okay, let's take that right knee out to the side. Bring the sole of the right foot up against the left thigh and place a block or blanket under that knee if it's not in contact with the floor. Take the left hand and start to slide it down the left leg without having a destination, right? Just noticing where the fingers land. And then bring that right hand towards the left, and as we inhale, sweep it up and open. Let the left elbow bend and rest on the thigh. Breathing here as we open up. And then take the crown of the head towards the left toes, creating that length. And on an exhale, sweep the right arm up and over as if you can touch the left toes with the right fingertips. And just breathe here in our little side bend. As we inhale, use the right hand to bring you back up. And we're going to switch the feet. Left knee bends, right leg extends, sole of the left foot up against the right thigh. And this time, you might need a little support. Maybe on one side you do, one side you don't. Take the right fingers and slide them down just until they stop. Take the left hand, bring it towards the right, and as we inhale, sweep it up and out. So we're reaching for that point where the ceiling meets the wall. And then we're bending the right elbow into the thigh, bringing the arm up. Take a big breath, and on the next exhale, let it sweep over as if we could touch the right toes with the left fingers. And breathe here. Let's inhale that left arm up to bring us back up. And bring the legs back out in front. Give them a little shake. Let's bend the knees and cross the right ankle over the left knee. Seated pigeon. Bring the hands behind and gently press the chest towards the shin. Find a little rock from side to side. Just opening up that right hip. And let's switch and take that the other way. Left ankle over right. And find a little rock from side to side. Let's release down, crossing one leg in front of the other, and then coming to stand. And coming up. We're not going to do too many standing postures tonight, right? It's hot, it's sticky, it's 102 degrees, so we want to stay grounded, cooling. So we'll do some simple little movements here. Let's bring the hands to the hips and just take the hips from one side to the other. And as we come up and over, keeping the length. On the side body, maybe letting the hands slide down the legs like we do in our monkey stretches. And then let the right hip come out to the right. Bring the left hand to the left hip and sweep the right arm up and over. Coming into quarter moon pose. Press into the right foot and reach the right fingers up and over. Big breath here. Use that right hand to bring us back up. Let the right hand find the right hip. Slide the hips to the left. Inhale, left arm up and over. Quarter moon pose, shoulder down. Right, lengthening the side. Press into the left foot. Find a little more length. And as we exhale, where can you let go? Let's come on back through center and take the feet closer together. Maybe toes and heels touch. Sweep the arms above the head. Interlace the fingers, release the point across the thumb. So coming into steeple. Right, reaching up on an inhale. As we exhale, hips to the right, reach to the left. Ardha Chandrasana, half moon pose. Press into the feet. Find a little more length on the inhalation. And as we exhale, where can you soften? Big breath in. Soften the face. Right? Maybe a little smile. As we inhale, we rise. As we exhale, take it over to the other side. Hips to the left, reach to the right. Big breath in. As we exhale, can you soften? And notice the stories, right? What are the stories attached to this pose? Let's inhale to rise back up. Bring the hands to the lower back. Little bend to the knees, chin to chest. As we exhale, send the hips forward, lift the heart. It's almost like a standing camel, right? Coming into a baby back bend, and then exhale, folding forward. Hands come down, the back of the legs. Drop the belly to the thighs. Drop the head. And then opposite hands to elbows, bringing the hands in front. Find ragdoll pose, a little sway from side to side. Bring the hands to the thighs and press yourself up and drop the seat. Sweep the fingertips out and up, coming into Utkatasana. Now I want you guys to look at the toes, right, and press all the way into the heel so that the toes can actually lift here. Right? And if there's any kind of tension in the knees, or straighten the legs. Hey, we don't have to bend so deeply here. Just breathing in our chair pose. As we exhale, we're going to take a little turn towards the left and let that right hand find the left knee or thigh and swing the left hand to the lower back. So we're gazing to the left. Inhale, sweep the arms back up into chair. And as we exhale, take that twist to the other side. And we'll do that 2 more times, once to each side. Inhale, rising, chair pose. Exhale, gently turning towards the left. Inhale, rising up. Exhale towards the right. And then inhale, bring the arms all the way up, straighten the legs, let the hands come down to the heart. And say, right? What a relief that is. Shake out the legs. Okay. We're going to take that right leg, we're going to bring it all the way out to the side. Bring the right hand to the right hip, and then extend the left arm out. So come up on the toes here, coming like in a diagonal. Breathing here, we're going to come into a little baby balance. On an exhalation, press into the left foot and see if you can just lift that right knee and then bring it back out. So toes can touch, or you can keep the foot off the floor. And just do this 2 more times on this side. Holding here. And then bring the hand to the hip, shift the weight to the other side. Take those left toes point, take the right arm out. Take a breath, big breath in. As we exhale, can you bring that knee in and then send it back out? Toes can come back to the floor, or if you really want to challenge yourself, just keeping them off. Breathing here and coming back to center. Nice wide legs. Take a big breath, bring the arms up, and as you exhale, come on down. Come into a forward fold. Find that half lift, right? Come to fingertips, or bring the palms to the shins or the knees and look up. And as we exhale, float back down. Move the right hand under the face, sweep that left arm up. As we exhale, left hand down and sweep the right arm up. Let's come on back down and turn the toes out and bend the knees. Walk the hands, maybe palms to the thighs. We're going to be moving into Malasana, the squat. So shifting the weight from side to side. So in Malasana, you want to try and have the heels on the ground. So maybe that means a wider stance. Maybe that means you're all the way up here. Maybe that means you're down on the mat already because you hate this pose, right? Malasana, my nemesis, right? Just take a breath here. See, there's my story. And see if you can breathe, right? Lengthening the spine, using the elbows at the knees or the palms on the thighs for support. Take a big breath, and as we exhale, one hand in front, one hand behind. Make your way back down to the mat and bring those legs out. And take a breath. So I want to spend a lot of time down on the back tonight, right? Releasing the back, doing a little bit more of a gentle type of flow. So let's come on down on the back and bend the knees. And then hug those knees into the chest and gently rock side to side. See if you can wrap the arms around the shins. Take a breath, and on an exhale, lift the head and bring it up towards the knees, rounding into this little ball. So it's the same as we did when we were in rabbit pose, right? Exhale and lower back down. So we did that on the knees, we did that seated, now we do it on the back. Let's take the feet down and extend the legs out. Just bring the palms to the belly. Close the eyes and take 3 deep breaths here. So we're not in Shavasana yet. This is our little transition down to the mat. And reconnect with the breath. Right, deep breath into the belly. Filling the torso, and as you exhale, open the mouth and just let it go. On the next exhalation, bend the knees and step the feet on the floor. Then we're going to press the feet into the mat, lift the hips, right, and send them towards the heels, creating a little more space in the lower back, right, lengthening the spine. And then bring the arms up and bend at the elbows, making this little rectangle box. We're going to take the knees over to the right and drop the left elbow towards the left, and the gaze can go with the arms or the legs. Inhale up through center and take it over to the other side. And gently start this little rhythm as we twist from side to side, The knees come up and over, creating a little massage to the lower back. So the knees do not have to touch, right? This is a gentle twisting from side to side. And come on back through center, keeping those knees bent. Let the arms extend out with the palms up facing the ceiling. And then extend the legs. We're going to take that right hand, inhale it all the way up towards the sky, right? And as we exhale, bend the right knee, place the right foot on the floor, and come all the way over, right? The palms meet. And then reaching up and opening back up. And then bend the left knee, lift the left arm, and take that over to the other side, straightening the right leg. So coming side to side, and just reaching up and over. One knee bends, the opposite leg straightens. So the side you're turning towards, that's the leg that straightens. Right, and notice if you're getting a little confused, right, what is the story? Let's come on back to center and bend those knees again. This time hug them into the chest and keep that right leg in and let the left leg extend. Pavanamuttasana, wind liberating pose. Pull the right knee in as you kick through the left heel. And then support the leg by holding the back of the right thigh and lift the leg up towards the sky. And start to make little circles with the toes. Circling in one direction and then circling the other. And then bend the knee and straighten the leg. And do that a few times. Extend the leg up and take it side to side, right? Like it's a metronome. And then bend that right knee, bend the left knee, and cross the right ankle over the left knee. Give a little press to the right thigh, maybe a little rock side to side. Maybe this is enough of a stretch, right? If you want a deeper stretch, lift the left leg. Interlace the fingers behind the left thigh. As you pull the left leg in, push the right leg away with the right elbow. Let's return to that deep breath, right? A few deep breaths here, 2 or 3 breaths. And see if you can get the entire spine pressing into the mat as you pull that leg a little closer if you took the option to lift the leg. And then gently releasing, let's take that left leg and hug it in, bend the knee, and the right leg relaxes on the mat. Pavanamuttasana, other side. So entire spine pressing down, shoulders pressing down, and then kick through the right heel as you pull that left knee closer. And then support the back of the leg as you extend the left leg up to the sky and make little circles with the toes, circling in one direction, circle the other way. And then bend the knee and extend the leg. And do that 2 more times. And then bend the right knee, cross the left ankle over the right knee, a gentle press to that left thigh. Maybe a little rock side to side, if that feels good. Or lifting the right leg up, hugging that right leg towards you, press the left knee away with the left elbow. And gently swaying if that feels good on the lower back. Releasing the right leg, holding the left leg at the thigh, bringing the toes up and taking that leg side to side like a metronome. And then extending both legs out, bring the palms to the belly. Let the eyes close and just notice the effect of those movements on the hips, the lower back, reconnecting with the breath. And I want you to dig your heels into the mat, right? And point your toes and then point them up towards the sky. And do this a few times quickly so it creates this rocking in the body, right? This little massage to the body. Maybe go a little bit faster. And then still the movement. Let the arms come alongside the body. Let the toes turn out. But notice how the vibration is still happening in the body. Right? That happens a lot when we start to move the prana. So let's do another experiment with that. Bend the knees and bring the feet up and bring the arms up towards the sky. Right? Turn the palms so that when you bend the elbows, we touch the shoulders and we bend the knees and let the toes touch, and then inhale, lifting. And do this a few times, lowering, right, bending. You may feel this a little bit in the abs, right? So the toes don't have to come all the way down. And then bring the arms and legs up, turn the palms towards each other and open up in a wide V. And as you exhale, cross one leg over the other, bend the knees, give yourself a hug, open up and cross the other way. And do that a couple of times, opening and closing. And the next time that the right knee crosses over the left leg, we're going to pause here. We're going to reach out and see if we can pull those knees a little closer, or maybe come to the ankles or the shins and pull the legs down. So coming into a cow face pose, right? Gomukhasana, but on the back, so we don't have any of that pressure on the knees and the ankles. Breathing here, you get a nice little stretch to that right quad. Let's release and switch the other way. Left crosses over right. Start just by bending and hugging and then reaching the hands, pulling the knees closer, maybe reaching down to the ankles or the feet. And breathing, right? Don't forget that part. Big breath in and exhale, let it go. And let's release the legs up. Let's release the arms up and start to shake, right? Just kicking the legs and shaking the hands and maybe even letting some sound, like doing horse lips. Right? It's the beauty of being virtual. No one can hear you or see you. And a couple more like that. And then as we exhale, let everything go. Just let everything come down to the mat. Again, close the eyes. And in the stillness, can you still feel the vibration? Can you feel the movement? Our prana, our life force moving through the body. And then bend the knees. Place the feet on the floor. Take the arms alongside the body. Press the palms down, forearms down. And start to lift the hips up, coming into bridge pose. So we're going to just take the shoulders, roll them underneath if that feels good. Maybe interlace the fingers. Press the hips away. And breathe in our bridge pose. So maybe you love bridge. Maybe not so much. Right? Notice, again, what are the stories that come with this pose? And can you maybe change them? As we exhale, lower down, and just take a moment to move in any way that might feel good in the body. Maybe little knee hugs, maybe little rocking, little massaging. Maybe you want to do a little legs up the wall. Right? Taking a few moments, a few breaths, just to move the body in any way. And whenever you're ready, finding your way into Shavasana. And so along with what is true and what is real, what is your truth, right, also comes you have permission to rest, especially now. We are in very strange times. We're almost numb to it because it's been 4 months, 5 months, right? It's been a really long time. So it's so important that we carve out this space for ourselves. A little bit of structure, right? Make that commitment to get on your mat. And even if Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m. doesn't always work for you, I'm recording and sending the recordings. So no excuses, right? You are worth it. You deserve an hour to breathe and feel and explore, right? And then whenever you're ready, finding your way into a comfortable Shavasana, whatever that is for you. Releasing the effort and shifting your attention back to the breath. And noticing if maybe there's a little more space. And maybe that breath is moving just a little freer. Maybe the mind settles down just a little bit. Maybe a new story came out of one of the old ones. Allowing all the muscles of the face to become soft. Little corners of the eyes, the forehead. Let the eyelids gently rest. Let the cheeks relax, the space around the nostrils, and the lips, and the jaw, and the tongue. Relaxing the throat, and the neck, and the shoulders, and shoulder blades. Right, what weight can you release right now, right here, with that next breath? Just let it go. Let the arms become heavy. The shoulders, upper arms and elbows, forearms, wrists, the hands and all 10 fingers. Relaxing the entire torso. So as you breathe, feeling the upper body separating from the back body on the inhale and coming back together on the exhale. Relaxing upper back, middle back, lower back, sides of the torso, the chest, the waist and the belly. Relax your hips and seat muscles, the thighs, the knees, the calves and shins, the ankles and feet, and all 10 toes. And taking some time to just rest. The body breathing the breath, and the breath breathing the body. No judgment, no stories. Just breathing into that divine self of who you are. And taking in the words of Swami Kripalu, as we stay in this relaxed space. My beloved child, break your heart no longer. Every time you judge yourself, you break your own heart. You stop feeding on the wellspring of your vitality. The time has come, your time to live, to celebrate, and to see the goodness of who you truly are. You, my child, are divine, you are pure, you are sublimely free. You are God in disguise, and you are always perfectly safe. Do not fear the dark. Just turn on that light and breathe into the goodness of who you are. So breathing into that goodness of who you are, a divine manifestation of love in a physical form, always perfect, just the way you show up. Start to bring some gentle movement back to the body. Wiggling fingers and toes, maybe rocking the head side to side. If it feels good, a big stretch like you're just waking up. And then rolling over to one side, finding a fetal position for a breath or two as we transition back. And sending some gratitude to your body for the way it carried you through class. And then letting that gratitude go out to the others in our Sangha. Right? The support we've been practicing together. Holding each other up. There's so much more than an exercise class here. Know that we are all here for you. Right? And I hope you guys feel that in every single class. We are not alone. And when you're ready, gently pressing into any comfortable seat, joining the hands at the heart, and bowing to that divine light that shines in each and every one of us. Right? And when we are here in this space, we are one. Namaste. If you guys can unmute yourself. Yay.
That was wonderful.
Thank you, Mia.
Thank you.
Thank you for playing. Stay well, guys.
Yes, have a good night. Good night, everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, thank you.
See you guys Saturday.
Yes.
We're having a thunderstorm here.
Yeah.
Oh, we
Yeah.
are?
It's starting.
Can you hear it?
No,
Yeah,
I'm in the
and
basement, nice and cool. I'll go upstairs.
The wind is really whipping.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
The house is twitching?
Good night.
Have a great night. Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.